Hiya. Hiya, guys. Welcome to another Touchline Talk at Tuesday at 2 p.m. with your boy, LNobbins. Of course, apologies there was no Ask Nobbins yesterday. I did do a community post. There will be one later, but I just didn't want to do 3 Ask Nobbinses in a row. I wanted to have the next upload be an analysis video, and that's what it's going to be. Either tomorrow, maybe more likely the day after, but there will be another Ask Nobbins later today, just might come out on Friday instead. It'll still be a weekly show, but yeah, apologies about that. It is on a player. It's going to be Tijani. I've now learnt how to correctly pronounce his name. There was a Dutch person, or someone who claimed to be Dutch, a couple of weeks ago when we were first linked to him, and this person told me that the correct way to pronounce his name is Reinders, like reindeer. So I've been saying it Reinders ever since. That is incorrect. I don't know why I didn't do this in the first place. I've got a friend who lives in the Netherlands, and his partner, long-term partner, is Dutch. So I just I just texted him and was like, can you just ask your lady friend how to say this person's name? So I've been saying it wrong. I apologise for that. This is how you say his name. You got to roll your R at the start, so I'm going to butcher this. It is Tijani Reinders with a rolled R at the start. I can't even do that. Tijani Reinders. There you go. I've done that. That is how you pronounce his name correctly. Apologies for misleading you all for so long. That's my bad. Well, no, it's not. This is Dutch person's fault who lied to me. Anyway, guys, admin out of the way. What are we doing today? Good question. I'm sort of asking myself there. I don't really know. Because I feel like I've discussed everything that needs to sort of be discussed in respect of the new players. We've touched on like what they're going to bring. We've spoken about how are they going to play for City, where are they going to play. We've addressed like the homegrown problem. We've talked about how many goals we need to score next season. So this is a sort of it can be more sort of like a generic stream. As I say, I haven't really got anything properly planned because I don't know what I could actually still be talking about without just repeating the same old stuff over and over again. I don't know if that's going to be an enjoyable time for you guys. So this can be a sort of, as I say, more of a laid back, chilled out vibe of a stream where we can do a back and forth. We always do a back and forth between you guys, but I did want to have a sort of overarching discussion on the quality of City's transfer window, the fact that people are now complaining about City's window again. I mean, City are back, and perhaps we can still discuss, what were the problems at City last season? What problems do these players solve specifically? What problems still need to be addressed? What players could be brought in for that? Maybe that can be like an overarching topic for today's video. But as I say, I don't really have a set plan for today's stream because, again, I actually don't know what else to talk about. There's no football. It's hard. So it's hard to come up with interesting topics. And I'm not a channel. No disrespect to channels who do this, but I just don't see the value in right. Delivery. This is such a weird analogy. Delivery apps. Yeah. If I order a meal from Just Eat, I place the order, or whatever. I order something from Amazon. Let's be even more generic. I order something from Amazon. I place the order on Monday. I know it's going to come by the end of the week, because I just know. I don't need to be told every single step of the way, nor do I find that interesting. I just want to know when's it arriving. Okay, it's arriving on Friday. Okay, great. I don't need to know where it was on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. That's the analogy that I'm using in respect of like transfer talk, if that makes sense. Like, all I really care about is being first properly linked with like, an actual source, like Fabrizio saying, right, City are going to sign him. That's all I need to know until the day the player comes in and it's confirmed. That's all I really need to know. I don't need to know all the little bits and shit throughout because it's going to happen. I'm not interested. So this, I'm sorry if you guys like that sort of stuff, that's fine. But this channel's never really going to be about that. So hence we're not going to really discuss that. Let me catch up on the chat though. That was a weird analogy. Hopefully that made sense, though. First time in a while, of course, Nobbins live vid before it started. Yeah, big up to you. Good evening, Ryan. Who will we send to Leon, McAtee, or Echeverry? That's a really good question, isn't it? Because, yeah, as part of, and again, that's something that's interesting that's come out right at the end. What is interesting is that one of the requirements of the deal is that another player does indeed go out on loan. I think it would be best if it was Echeverry. Lots of people are saying Bar. But I hope he just goes back to Lon for another season, just stays there and develops there. Echeverry would probably be my player of choice, especially if we are bringing in Shirky. Like, where's he going to play realistically? This was like one of my concerns with the Echeverry analysis video that I did. If we do sign, and I didn't mention Verts in that video, just in case. I did specifically say, like an elite creator or like an elite offensive midfielder, that sort of thing, generic. If we sign one of those players, I struggle to see where Echeverry gets any meaningful game time. So ideally, Echeverry would be the one. That would be the idea. That'd be the ideal situation. Hello, Dave. Hello, Abanab. How you doing, mate? Yeah, it's a great business. Absolutely. It's a sound between A and I. Yeah, it's a ein, but it's with a rolled R at the start. Reinders. Right, okay, we're not going to be having any of this. We're not going to have any of this. Stream over, Dave, what the hell? Time Simon Rodrigo, no, not happening. You haven't missed anything, we just started. How you doing, Samer? I'm doing very well. How about yourself? Luis, you're feeling excited, we'd love to see that. Thank you, Brian, love that. If you like the updates, that's fine. It's just not something that I'm personally interested in, and I just don't know. Again, I don't know what the gain is of. Right, this has happened now. It's like, right, but has anything changed? Like, not really. Unless there's like a massive development that's changed. Like, okay, we're no longer signing him. Then that's an interesting update. But I just don't really get the. If there's no, it's just like Fabrizio Romano's tweets when he just tweets nothing apart from, yeah, this is still happening. You don't have to tell me about it then. If I don't get an update from you, I will assume it's the same situation. You know what I mean? Again, people like that. That's fine. I just don't find value in it. Yeah, that annoys me so much. I'm amazed. This is another rant. I'm amazed at the I'm not amazed really. Just the lack of patience, I guess. In fact, someone I think I did a tweet and I can't remember who it was. Someone replied to me. I did a tweet. I said something like, these Verts Shirky comparisons are and they're not even comparisons, aren't they? One's having a go at the other, blah, 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 blah. It's boring, it's tiring, can we, like, do something less predictable? And, like, someone commented going, oh, but we're bored. Mate, we have, like, 3 unbelievable players that are definitely going to sign for us. How can you be bored? The transfer window's only been open a week. We prayed for times like this. Nah, it's boring. You don't need the fucking here we go. It's obviously going to happen. Anyway, yeah. Your driver's arrived at the store ready to collect your order. To be fair, Liam, that's probably because you're hungry. So yeah, maybe something like less pertinent or urgent that you're going to get order that day. You know, something like, as I say, you've ordered like something from Amazon and you know, right, this is scheduled to arrive on Friday. You know it's arriving on Friday. I don't need to know where it was on Tuesday or Wednesday. Where's there a sheep in my room? Hello? Have I missed something? Good evening, Musty. I think they're annoying. Rodrigo, just stop it, Ryan. Anyway. There's a difference between like Twitter banter and whatever's happening here. Like there's a difference between having a bit of fun and whatever this is turning into. I say they haven't even signed yet. It's just going to be boring. Yeah, so this transfer window. As I say, if there's a particular topic you want us to discuss, do let me know. This transfer window has the potential to be the greatest transfer window in City's history. Obviously, right now, it's not competing with 17-18. That is the one. That is like the gold standard of perfection. That's the thing. You can't get better than that. A first choice goalkeeper, a first choice right back, a first choice left back, a versatile midfielder. Liam, I hate you so much. And I think that's everyone, is it? So it was Ederson and technically Laporte in that season as well, even though it was a summer window. But in respect to that season, we can include Laporte in there as well. So a first choice centre back as well. So basically a new defence, a new goalkeeper, and Bernardo Silva. I don't think I've missed anyone there. If I have, please let me know. Like an actual first team. I guess Danilo is also was a good signing because he was a versatile fullback. I don't think I've missed anyone else there. But in respect to like the pure starters in 17-18, Walker, Ederson, Mendy, Laporte, and Bernardo. Because I know Bernardo like wasn't the first choice midfielder. That's he was a player who could actually do that. So what is that? So that's 5 starters, and then Danilo, who was like a rotational player. It was still a very, very good option. So we still have a long way to go if we want to sort of like make it as good as that. But we have brought in a first choice left back. That's right, Musty, yeah. We have brought in a first choice left back and a starting left back. We have brought in a starting, attacking midfielder. We have brought in a starting all-round midfielder in the Reinders. So I must just ask the question, how can we make it even better? The way to make this like a perfect window for me is a starting right back, preferably Livramento, would be the one. For a number of reasons. Because he's very good, first of all, but he's also a homegrown player, so it solves that headache. You've also got a player there for 10 years, something like that, which is insane. I mean, going off on a tangent for a moment, because I mentioned this, I was on the top... I didn't have time to go in the top 6 yesterday, but I was on the top 6. I was on the top 6 last week, and I think like Tom Little was balking at the price I was suggesting that City should pay for Livramento, and I was saying, look, I'd be more than happy to pay like 70 to 80 million for him. Now, is he worth that much as a player? No. I don't know what he's actually worth as an actual player. Like, what, more like 50 million, perhaps? But you've got to add on the tax that Newcastle don't have to sell. Newcastle don't want to sell. City are desperate for a right-back, and they know that. City are desperate for a homegrown right-back, and they know that. So it's all these premiums that get added on. But if you're signing him for, as I say, let's say £70 million or whatever, or £80 million, is he 22? So you got him for 10 years. So if it helps you rationalise it a bit easier, just think about it as £7 million a year, and that's you don't have to worry about signing another right back, his first choice for nearly a decade. That's pretty good. We had Walker for around 6 years, and that was pretty good going. At the top level, 5 or 6 years, that sort of thing. So I think it's worth it based on that. What's Newcastle's PSR situation? I saw something from Stefan, and he suggested that they don't need to sell anyone massive, but they might need to sell like a couple of smaller players, but they don't need to sell anyone huge, like an Isak. They don't have to do that. So they don't have to sell Livramento. What's interesting, though, is that, again, this is like the rumour mill, whatever the term is. It was coming out that Newcastle are not happy to sell for that fee, and they will require a massive fee. Now, that language, again, I don't know if it's bullshit or not, that language does not tell me that they are not willing to sell. Because if they even say, well, it's going to cost a lot of money, that means there is a price. And that's all that matters to me. Okay, and if that price like more than 100 million, then okay, maybe it's a bit insane. But that suggests that they are willing to sell for something. Otherwise, they would just go, nah, he's not for sale, wouldn't they? That would surely be the thing. Just realised I got my mics out properly there. There we go. So we would have to sign like an actual proper right back in order to make this challenge 17-18. And I know that I don't know if Bailey's still in the chat. I don't know if he's heard anything. I know that the Gibbs White links have gone very quiet from City. And actually, I think the most recent one is Gibbs White is potentially looking to move to Saudi Arabia now, or rather they're interested in him. I don't know if that's what he wants, but they're apparently interested in him. I still think we might need another midfielder as well. Because in an ideal world, we want to be looking at moving on and replacing all 4 of De Bruyne, Kovacic, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, either now and or next season. We want to be moving them on and getting rid of them. So that's 4 players you're losing. So far we've brought in, again, and I know if we want to do like a direct replacement situation, Shirky for De Bruyne. I can't roll my R's, fuck's sake. Tijani Reinders. I can't roll my R's, guys. I'm going to try to practice that. Reinders for Gundogan. And then you're looking at Bernard. I mean, Pete, if you want to, you can say, well, you know, you can pop, and it's actually not really a comparison. I could say Bob for Bernardo, but that doesn't really work. I guess Rodri coming back is Nico Gonzalez for, you know, Kovacic, whatever, technically. So I'm thinking that we are still maybe one body light, based purely on the numbers game, unless there's a player I'm forgetting. De Bruyne out, Shirky in. I can't do I can't roll my R's, Musty. You know I can't do it. Shirky for De Bruyne, Nico for Kovacic, let's say. Reinders did it that time for what's it? For Gundogan. And as I say, one more person. So that, I think we might need another midfield option there. I don't know where, though. I don't know who, sorry. Your pizza's entered the oven, brilliant. Yeah, what would make it better than 17-18? Yeah, so an actual right back. And as I say, maybe another midfielder as well. And who knows, maybe a goalkeeper if Ederson moves on. Nitin, where is this winger? Where's he going to fit? Unless you're suggesting a homegrown one, in which case I might be interested. Omar, Foden, Shirky, one will be benched. That would be a mistake if they did do that, because you should be looking to start all 3 of them, really. You can easily do that. We've done many times where that's happened. Why do we ever get rid of Danilo? Well, he was used as a weight in respect of getting Cancelo, wasn't he? If memory serves, wasn't he? A Power Ranger. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm trying, Nathaniel. Tijani Reinders. That's correct. Tijani Reinders. No, that's not correct. Tijani Reinders. There we go. I did it that time. Beautiful. Sebastian, you're preaching to the converted here. Wait, who's not that good? Why is Livramento good? He just is. I don't think we need Livramento. We have Kusanov, Rico, and Nunes. So Kusanov, you don't want Kusanov playing at right back, because he's not a right back. Rico is a midfielder, and is sort of all right at right back in a good system, but is not someone who'd want to be starting week in, week out. And Nunes, I think, is a fine backup player, but that's it. That's it for me. Nunes is a decent backup right back. They said for a lot of them, just get the EV guy, says John. Who? Cambiasso? I want a proper right back, though. Gibbs White too expensive, says Maverick. Again, you are paying a premium because he is homegrown, I would say. And also, look at all the money that we've not spent on Shirky and Reinders. Did it well that time. And Nori. I think we saved a lot of money there. I don't know how much it's actually ended up being, but it's around 120, innit? Now, if you ask me, those 3 players combined, I think you should be looking at a fee of closer to £200 million. So I'd suggest that net, if you add Gibbs White onto that, I think that is pretty good business if we're not looking at it in isolated transfers. Look at it overall. So yeah, Gibbs White for like 70 million, 80 million, that would be too expensive. It would. He's not worth that much. However, look at it net. It's like Livramento. I don't think he's worth 70 or 80 million in a vacuum, but the package, that's what I'm after. Yeah, this is interesting. Look, because I think it was on Boys in Blue last week, and they were saying, like, what other fullback options could we get? And someone was like, well, could we get Spence? It's like, at that point, I'd just rather get Aina, and have him for a couple of years as like a short-term option, and then we go get the proper right back of our dreams, rather than dicking around and doing that. You get me? So that's the thing. He's also homegrown, which is nice. He's not free though. Like, there is 1 year on his contract. I know lots of people are saying free, but he wouldn't be free. Belabor would be perfect. But the Belabor train is gone, I'm afraid. He's not super old, but he's also not super good. That sounds really mean, but he's not. I don't think he's of the level to be starting for City and winning us titles consistently. And also, he's getting on, so I'd just rather move him on right now. Sounds so nice. That's not very nice, Razad. Why? That's not very nice. That's a bit mean. Cover's not leaving. I know, but ideally he would. He's going to leave next year, surely. So we'll need to bring someone in at some point. Am I going to watch the Club Cup? Yeah, we'll watch it. We'll like live stream it, of course. But I am on holiday for the semi-finals and finals, so I won't be streaming that. We'll stream the City matches, but what are your guys' thoughts on the Club World Cup? I have zero thoughts on it. Like, literally. I will watch it, but I'm going to treat it like just a pre-season game. Like, if we score, I'll be like, yeah, come on. Like, to me, it's like less than the League Cup right now. I don't really care. If we get knocked out, I'll be like, oh, well. I've got no feelings towards it either way. Again, I'll watch it because it's a competition. I want us to win it. It'll be nice to win. But I do not actually care fundamentally because it's a brand new competition and there's no prestige or history to it. You get a lot of money for it. That's nice, but I don't really care. I'm not like that interested. Again, I'll watch it. We'll stream the City matches up until the quarterfinals, but I'm not interested. Got no clue where Gibbs White is at. You think in the summer they'd be after homegrown players? Yeah, indeed, Bailey, indeed. You would think so. Your delivery driver's still working on rolling his R's correctly. I'm trying, guys. I am trying. I'm also trying because I'm going to try so hard to say Reinders. I did it that time correctly because I'm also trying to do Spanish lessons and they roll their R's a lot. I can't do it properly, but I can do a letter sometimes. Like if there's like a single, because there's a difference between rolling a single R and rolling multiple R's. I can't do the one that sounds like a fucking motorboat, but I can sometimes do the single R. So I'm going to try really hard to say his name the correct Dutch way. I'm going to try because that will help me with my Spanish. I think Kassav could play right back. Well, based on what though? Based on what? Because he definitely can't play it on the ball. The only way it would work on ball is if he went to centre back in possession, and because he's not going to be able to push up to the right wing. And defensively, I don't really rate him out wide as a wide defender, to be fair, unless it's like in transition, which is different. You're not moved, really, Liam. Why? Which ones in particular don't move you? Yeah, it's quite good. Yeah, exactly. He's good. He'd be like a nice placeholder holder. Pronounced Ina. Okay. That's the thing. It'll be a really nice testing ground to see Shirky, to see Reinders. Did it? To see Aitnori all in this environment. It will be fun. It'll be good to see the new kits. Like I like that white kit with the sash. I think that looks really smart and really nice. But in respect to the actual competition, I truly do not care if we get knocked out relatively early on. It's like, whatever. I would rather we had no competition this summer and we had just had an actual break. And just chilled out so the players can have a rest. And indeed, everyone can have a rest. There's too much football happening right now. And it's like... It's creating like a sort of... what's the term? Burnout? Yeah. Fatigue. I used to watch a lot more football, I feel like, back in the day. I watch a lot less now, which I don't like, but it is there's just too much of it. It's like all of the football, all of the time. Big up to you, Elder. Community Shield, yeah, exactly. It's probably on. It's on that level to me. Yeah, it's on that level. I'd like us to win it. That would be nice. I'd like to win it, obviously, because it's a trophy. I'm not going to say no to it, but I'm also not going to care that much. You get me? It will only get serious if we advance to the semis. Yeah, I've no idea how it works. I've no idea how it works in respect of the what's it? Like, is it a group stage thing? And then who's in your group? Is it seeded? I don't know. Club World Cup's great. I'd love for us to win it. Yeah, again, I'd like us to win it, but I don't really care. I know he's not homegrown, no. Just a money maker? Yeah, exactly. And again, I'm not seeing any of that money. So I don't really care that there's a lot of money in it. I'm not seeing that shit. No, let me... Musty, why you... Let me try to improve my Spanish. Okay. Short term, in a pinch, but short term is not a whole season, is it? So I want a whole season of a proper right back. The winner will wear the badge until 2029. I don't care. Only position I worry about next season, other than right back, is keepers. I know the rumours are that both Eddie and Stefan are staying, but is that only for the cup? Yeah, I don't actually know what's going on there. I'd love Edison to stay if he can, but if he wants to leave, then he's going to have to leave, isn't he? So we'll see. How do you pronounce it's what if I'm speaking Spanish? Barcelona, because I try to do Castilian Spanish with the lisps, with the th. Based on him playing very well at right back against Real Madrid. If memory serves, he got burnt a fair few times that day. I mean, he was fine in the game, but all it did was confirm to me that he's not a right back. Yeah, if you want more information on that, go watch my Kusanov analysis. I explain why you shouldn't really be playing him at right back. He's a centre back. I'm not falling for the Shirky prop, Liam, mate. There's no prop to fall for. Don't worry about it. He's just a very good creator. That's all. 120 million prize money. Yeah. The money for the teams is huge. That's cute. I'm not getting the money though, am I? Unless I'm getting a check for if we advance deep into the competition. I don't really care about the money. Big up to LB for the raid. And big up to Martin for renewing his Ultras Club membership. For 5 months, thank you, mate. And your random footballer is... Hey! Edison! We were just speaking about him. Unreal coincidence, that. Love to see that. Thank you so much, Martin. Your random footballer is Edison in his Benfica kit. There we go. Big up. Yeah, big up to LB. I'm looking forward to it. The first look at our rebuild. Yeah, maybe that's the thing I'm most interested in. Seeing the actual players on the pitch all at once would be really fun to see. No, we aren't. Shush. We better not anyway. Edison is the best Edison replacement, I agree. Is this the format? The 32 teams will be divided into 8 groups of 4 who will play each other once in the round-robin format. Oh, only once, okay. The top 2 teams from each group will then go through. Right, so you need to win like 2 out. So it's like a World Cup group or a Euros group then, isn't it? You just play a couple games and then in the knockouts. So what's the first... So how... If you get all the way to the final, how many games do you end up playing? So you play 3 in the groups. Does it go straight to... Would it be round of 16 after that? If there are 8 groups, it must be round of 16, mustn't it? So 3 games in the groups, round of 16, quarters, semis, final. So is it a maximum of 7 games? Is that right? Can you please confirm that for me? That'd be great. If Trafford is happy to come in as a backup goalkeeper, then that's great because that also helps out a homegrown concern. Because we'd replace Ortega with a homegrown player, so that gives us another non-homegrown slot. So that would be lovely. Yeah, big up to you, Martin. Thank you for renewing your membership. Yeah, let's get these likes up. Don't know what we're on, but get the likes up. Exciting news. There will hopefully be some love. Speaking of members, there will hopefully be some new emotes on the channel in the coming days. I'm also looking at potentially refreshing the live chat, the look of the live chat. So stay tuned. Hopefully some more updates and upgrades happening on the channel. Lo siento, no hablo nada de español, Nero. Es perfecto. I'm sorry. Hablo. What? I don't speak Spaniel. I don't know. I'm not very good. Oh, dearie me. Hello, Robert. I'm doing very well. Do I rate Donnarumma? Nah, not nearly good enough with his feet. It's like really bad with his feet. He's got no swivel, exactly. That's the key. That is the key. What If Bob's used right back, wait, what is going on? What is going on? Yeah, it's just too stiff. It's just too stiff. No, Musty, I understand the club is Espanol, but I didn't understand all the words before it. Why is everyone excited on money they don't see or get? Are we Wenger? Yeah, I mean, it's good if we know that the club will like put it towards other signings and whatnot, but that's not going to make me interested in the tournament. It's straight to knockout. Thank you guys for confirming. So I think Kasam could play the Akanji right back role. I don't think so, no, because I actually think Akanji is just a right back fundamentally. I think that is his best position. He struggles at centre back. He's not as aware, so I don't know. LNobbins bomb new emojis. Here we go. Yeah, exactly. It'd be good. Chevalier 70 million. That would be too much money. I won't lie. What about Rodrigo? No. Trafford doesn't want to be a backup. And if he doesn't, then yeah, we can't have him then, can we? Do not pronounce the H in hablo or hola. Oh, I knew that, to be fair. Rashid Joe. Nobbins Pep set Doku to fail. What do you mean? I think Doku's been playing all right. I don't know what that means. Anyway, let's now have a chat, I think, about just on Doku. Shall we now have a chat about what were sort of like the key structural systemic problems the City had last season? How will the signings fix these problems? What other problems remain? So let's try to come up with a list now, shall we, guys? What problems that were structural did City have last season? We've nearly got 500 people watching and only around 100 likes. That is simply not good enough. I want 250 likes, and I want it quick, yeah? So get liking that bloody video, hit that like button, or else. Also, whilst I'm here, another shameless plug, we will be live on Twitch tonight. We're not watching the England game because it could be a load of bullshit and boring shite. Instead, come over to Twitch tonight at 7 PM and watch me play Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a hell of a lot more entertaining than watching fucking England in a friendly that is meaningless. Click that link, follow the Twitch, it's free, and it'll be a lovely time every single Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evening. So yeah, what problems did we have last season? What were the systemic ones? Get your thoughts in the chat, and we'll try to compile a list. Box crashing was an issue. Yes, I agree, Elder. Doc will work. His opponents will have Rand to contend with at the same time. Wait, oh, Ain't Nora. I'm so confused as to who that was then. Yeah, Ain't Nora, yeah. Wingers, poor crossing, and end product. Did I watch yesterday? No. I don't even know what game that is. I won't lie. Wasted touches in the box. I'm not after like a specific individual. I'm after more like systemic problems. 115, brilliant. Key systemic issues, Pep's aura diminish. Shut up, Liam. That's very nice if that's true. That's very, very, very sweet. Biggest problem was a sucky defense. There was no counter pressing. Yeah, so that's another one. Yeah, not enough energy in the midfield. Not enough athleticism in the midfield. Absolutely. Dynamism from the fullbacks. I think that's a good one. Chance creation wasn't good enough. No runners behind the defense. Plays Peacocks. No overlapping fullbacks. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely, K, 100%. Okay, well, that's not really a systemic problem, is it? Yeah, so a poor defense in transition. Yeah, so there were a number of like systemic problems last season, but I think that we've nearly addressed all of the ones we've outlined here, basically. This was also a concern. Yeah, I mean, if you had Kovacic and Bernardo and Gundogan, we're looking at nearly 100 years old. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, so let's maybe like start from like back to front, shall we? Oh no, maybe front to back. Let's go from front to back. It's like, what were the issues in front of goal? And there were some issues in front of goal. It wasn't nearly as bad as was being made out to be, certainly in that period where we just weren't winning any games, because the main problem was the defensive one. We actually scored enough goals to not win the league this season, but we certainly scored enough goals to finish second this season. However, there was a period where we were like lower mid-table defensively. The key issue last season was indeed defensively. Thankfully, the signings in the January window, along with the system change, did help with that. So let's start with, as I say, the top end, and then we'll move back. I think it was Elder who said it. Box crashing is a key weapon that City often deploy. It sounds very obvious, but if you are up against a side that only wants to defend, and if your winger is so good at 1v1 work that nearly every single time they're able to beat their opposition fullback and get on the edge of the box on that left or right side, what you need to have happen is two things. You need to have bodies in the box to occupy defenders, but you also need runs from the midfield. And this sounds very obvious, but it's something that we lacked last season. I know I keep going on about it, but this for me is the best example. It's an extreme example, but it's the best example for me. The Liverpool game at the Etihad, and not having a go at Trent here, but it's the reality. Every single time, Doku was beating Trent. He was beating him 1v1 every single time. So he was doing his job. Doku was doing his job. Foden that day was the only player in the box. So he was trying to sort of do a job. He's obviously not hauling. He was injured that day or suspended. I can't remember exactly. I think he was injured. But we had one player in the box. So that means, okay, there's one player in the box. So if you cross it in there, nothing's going to happen. Because obviously, Konate and Van Dijk, etc., are just going to be able to outnumber one player. So what does that require? That requires the likes of Gundogan, Kovacic, Bernardo Silva to be able to arrive late onto the edge of the box. And then Doku now has options. And then that player can either hit it first time or take a touch or whatever, or they can stand it up and they can head it in. Some sort of box crashing situation needs to happen there. Whether that's at the near post, whether that's just on the edge of the box, doesn't matter where it is as long as it is happening. Now, the only way that can happen is if you have players who actually can physically do that and also have the instinct to do that as well. Those are the two key things. There were some instinct problems last season because, for example, Kovacic is not naturally inclined to do that. But the primary concern was a physical one. Because, for example, we know that Gundogan has those instincts. We just that's been his thing. He's always been a box crashing midfielder. That's how he gets the majority of his goals for City. Certainly the most memorable ones anyway that I can think of. He simply was not physically able to keep up with the likes of Doku or Savio or whoever and get into those dangerous positions when the opportunity arose. That was the key problem. So we had Gundogan, but we didn't have Gundogan, if that makes sense. We had Gundogan's body, but not he was physically there, but we didn't have the Gundogan that we all know or knew, past tense maybe. Have we solved that problem? Yes, we have. Because Tijani Reinders, nearly got it that time, is a box-crashing midfielder. So he can absolutely do that. That is a key problem from last season. That's a problem that has been solved. Another problem going forwards was simply not having enough play. I don't think it's one that anyone said yet, but it certainly is. It certainly is one. There simply weren't enough players taking shots, and this is a bit of a spoiler of what my analysis video is going to be touching on. So stay tuned for that. But another concern was that we simply didn't have enough players taking enough shots. Our only consistent shot takers last season were Haaland, Foden, and Marmouche, and I guess Savio as well. No one else was a consistent goal scorer / shot taker. Somehow, Kovacic managed to score more league goals than he ever has in his career. That came out of nowhere, so fair play to Kovacic for doing that. But generally speaking, there simply weren't enough shooters on the pitch. Reinders is also that, which is good. Only Scott McTominay took more shots than him last season in Serie A compared to other midfielders. Only Scott McTominay scored more goals than Reinders as well last season in Serie A. So him coming into our midfield does help a massive offensive concern there. In respect to the shooting, more directly goal scoring, even more directly goal scoring via box crashing. Lovely. That in turn will massively benefit players like Savio and players like Doku in particular when they are playing. Doku will now know that one of those deeper midfielders, whether it's Kovacic, Bernardo, Gundogan, whoever. I mean, Rodri can also do it as well, to be fair, so that will also improve. But it had to be the responsibility of one of those deeper midfielders last season to do that. None of them really did it. As I say, aside from Kovacic, in respect of his long shots, fair play to him. Reinders does help solve that. That's a beautiful situation. What other concerns did we have? What other concerns did we have? And let's go to this one here. The age problem. Lack of physicality, athleticism, too many old players in the midfield. Well, that's getting resolved by having a midfield rebuild. By moving on Bernardo, by moving on Gundogan, by moving on Kovacic, hopefully. De Bruyne as well, I suppose. Bringing in Reinders, Rodri coming back, Nico maybe getting more game time. Perhaps another midfield player as well coming in, whether that's Gibbs White or whoever. That could be another thing as well. That's also solved it. That brings the age profile down massively. I think we had, if someone can please confirm this for me, I think we had the fourth oldest squad in the league last season. I think the only squads older than ours, there was West Ham, I think Everton, and I can't remember the other one. But like that's the company that we're keeping. It was like 27 or something like that. And that's made worse when you consider, now you look at that and you go, well, having an average age of 27, surely that means everyone's in their peak. Well, the issue was that we all know that City didn't have the balance in respect to the ages. There were too many players past it. There were too many players not into their physical prime yet. Players who will be lovely, but who aren't there yet. Not enough players who are in their prime. Reinders is another one of those from an age perspective. Not necessarily minutes, but certainly from age as well. That was also a problem. Once again, by moving on Walker, by moving on, hopefully, Gundogan, etc., we are going to bring the age profile right down. So that's another reason why this transfer window is so key and so lovely. We had 2-year-olds and 57-year-olds. Yeah, exactly. Literally, it was the opposite ends of the scale, and that was a concern. What else were there? What other problems were there? Guys, what have I missed? We knew that the defence wasn't getting enough support. That's going to be massively helped when Rodri comes in, and with a midfield partner for Rodri as well. Also, I think pressing from the front will improve next season because of those midfield additions that we've discussed. If your pressing from the front is better, you're going to be more defensively solid because you can win the ball back easier. You're going to suffer less dangerous counterattacks. Another issue was like second ball winning. Rodri coming back does help us out there as well. Well, another issue was our wingers were too isolated. Ait Nouri coming in helps out Doku / Marmouche. Savio will still be isolated if we don't bring in a proper right back. And that is, for me now, one of the only concerns that still exists, really. Midfield progressive passing, yes, we've resolved that, haven't we? Rodri coming back has resolved that. Reinders is also a passing player. He can do that. Foden back to his best, hopefully. He will do that. Rodri back to his best. Hopefully he will do that as well. Cherki is obviously that as well. So that should not really be a problem next season at all, based on the players who are brought in. If they play to even 80% of what we know they can be, whether that's Rodri or Foden or Cherki or Reinders, even if they're like 80% of the player that we know they are, then it's going to be an exponential increase in threats, offensive work, breaking low blocks, being good in transition as well. Centre-back pairing, yeah. So in fairness, Yash, that was mainly informed by the injuries. Of course, if we have another mental season next year for injuries, there's not really much we can do. But I think we saw, especially towards the end of the season, what is probably going to be the primary centre-back pairing next year, especially now we've actually brought in a proper left-back, so thankfully Gvardiol can now play in his actual position off-ball. That's lovely. I'd still like us to have a system which allows Gvardiol to push up a little bit on-ball, but off-ball, there's no doubt that he's a centre-back, of course. And he's wonderfully defensively solid at centre-back, of course. We've actually got a left footer at left centre-back. That's great. Helps with build-up play. So it's probably going to be Gvardiol Diaz, isn't it? As much as I would love to trial Gvardiol Kusanov, and I do think that will be the future, centre-back pairing. Right now, Diaz is part of the leadership. Whether it's Roger or him as the ultimate captain, you're not going to not play Ruben Diaz. And Kusanov is still young. There's no rush, is there? There's no urgency. But long term, I think Gvardiol Kusanov is going to be an elite partnership, hopefully. And I don't know what we do for the right back, as I say, but that would be a lovely partnership, wouldn't it? Both really good on the ball. Kusanov is fantastic in transition. Gvardiol is just elite at everything. Yeah, that's a really lovely centre-back pairing. So yeah, Yash, definitely that. Yeah, again, like Kova's one of these players where with our deeper midfielders, we needed more passers. So we needed one of Gundo, Bernardo, Kova to be more of a passer. And they all seemingly wanted to do a lot of carrying instead. Certainly Kovacic, that is his instinct. City and Villa tie for 6th oldest squad. Fulham, West Ham, Everton, Newcastle, Liverpool. Oh, Liverpool's interesting. Yeah, so it's far too old. One of the oldest squads in the league. It's far too old. Hey, E-Ink, you don't have to preach to the converted here. I'm a big Nico G proponent. I'm a big fan. Big fan. Go watch my analysis video if you haven't already done so. He's an absolute boy. And we will see him hopefully next season, more so in his best position, which would be with Rodri. I don't think Nico G wouldn't be in my starting 11. Like, if I had to say, right, what's your strongest starting 11 that you can put out now? I don't think Nico G would make it, necessarily, but that doesn't mean he's not going to play a lot of games next season because of his versatility, because he can fill in for Rodri, but he can also give Reinders a rest as well. Look at that. I'm getting better at pronouncing it, guys. Or you can even have a really, really solid, if you really wanted to go extremely uber defensive, you could have a really solid midfield of off-ball of Rodri, Reinders, and Nico G, if you wanted to. I wouldn't do that. I think that's a bit too conservative and too defensive, but it could happen, absolutely. Good evening, Spartacus. How are you? Will it be a glass cannon? I don't think that you can be a glass cannon when you got Rodri in your team, to be honest, the best defensive midfielder. Yeah, I've seen this. Like, why does everyone hate Nico Gonzalez? Where's this come from? Like, people are saying he's a flop. Who is it that's saying he's a flop? And why? It's so not true. He's played well. I don't think he's had a bad game since he's joined City, to be honest with you. I think he's had a very lovely time at City so far. What happens to McAtee? There's no offers. Well, hopefully there are offers because he's got... I don't think he's got a future here. I don't see in what world he plays any football next season for City. Thank you so much, Arju. We'll come to that super chat in a moment. Rival fans, well, they're idiots, aren't they? I don't pay them any mind. I love Nico G. He's the boy. Who's the best player in Brazil? Savio, obviously. Come on. That's what Spartacus is going to say. Yeah, get the likes up, guys. I want 250. Come on. Thank you so much, Adju, for the super chats. Do you think Bob's breakout season will be the next one? Yeah, it was supposed to be the last one, but he broke his leg. This will be the season where he explodes, and I think that he will be our best right winger. I think. I love Savio, of course, but I think that there was a reason why Bob was supposed to be the starting right winger this season. Bob's the guy. He's also technically an interior, but I think that his dribbling is of a type where it still works out wide. And it's tricky to justify him in the centre when you got Foden, Shirky, Reinders, etc., etc. Why am I bored? Because Super Chats make me bored. That's why. No, Spartacus, stop it. Stop it. Rival fans haven't watched a single minute of City. Well, there you go. Nikochi comes good, especially when Rodri needs a rest. Yeah, definitely. And once again, just wait for the games where he and Rodri play together. We saw it, didn't we? Against Bournemouth. He was lovely when, I know it was 10 against 10, weird game state, but he was lovely. He was allowed to go forwards. He's not a pure 6. So when he's allowed to go forward, you'll see the best of him as well. Thoughts on Wirtz versus Shirky? I don't mind the comparison, but what I don't like is what's happening where people are... I get it's for a joke or whatever, but it's just a shit joke, isn't it? Like, the point of a joke is that it's supposed to be funny, isn't it? So if the joke's not funny, it's just shit, isn't it? So people are going, oh, I'm going to hate watch him, and oh, I'm going to count all the missed passes, and I just think it's like what babies do. It's what babies do. Casual watchers there you go. No, we signed him as a player who can fill in for Rodri, but he will also be playing with Rodri. I wager 5p that we will see at some point next season, Rodri and Nico G playing together in midfield. We just will. It's not going to be one or the other every single game. It's not like they're never going to share the pitch with one another. There will be some games where they both play. I don't agree that he's a Rodri backup. That's not. I don't take that, because if he is, this is the way I try to rationalize it. How many league games does Rodri play next season? Let's assume, for argument's sake, Rodri comes back, no significant injury issues. He comes back. He's able to play as much football as he could do previously. How many games do you reckon Rodri starts in the league? It's at least 30, isn't it? At least 30. It might be more. Ideally, he'd start all of them. Of course, sometimes he needs a rest. But realistically, how many games do you reckon he starts? It's going to be like 30, as I say. 30-something. Might be even more. High 20s at the absolute least in the league. I'm going to say 30. Do we really think that Nico Gonzalez is only going to start 8 games in the league? Does anyone really think that? Because I don't. This is why I refuse to accept that he is a Rodri backup, because that would mean that Nico G would never play in the Premier League. He'd play less than 10 games if he's a pure backup. He'd never start. I just can't see that happening long term. There will be some games where it's Rodri Reinders. There will be some games where it's Rodri Nico G. It's as simple as that to me. How good is he off ball? Yeah. What I would say is that it's been blown out of proportion that he is like bad off the ball, but it is correct to say that he's not a high volume defensive action player, because he's not a defensive midfielder. Fofana at Milan was the primary defensive midfielder. Defensive midfielder at Milan. Reinders was more of an offensive box-to-box player. So I don't accept that he's bad off the ball by any means. I will accept that he's not Rodri, and I will accept that he's not prime Gundogan when he was a perfect all-round midfielder. But I think it's certainly fine to have him and Rodri in the midfield, or him and Rodri and Nico in the midfield, or him and Rodri and Foden in the midfield, or him and Rodri and Gibbs-White in the midfield, that sort of thing. I don't see that being a problem at all. Yeah. And again, we're going to have the ball a lot more than we don't have the ball. So I don't really see it being a problem. I used to love Pakataro as well. Good times. Good times. Memories. Make it 10p. Okay, right. I'll bet you 10p, Spartacus, that we do in fact see at some point a starting midfield next season of Rodri and Nico at some point in the Premier League. At some point, we will see that. I'm not saying that's going to be the first choice, but I don't accept that Nico is being brought in to be a pure, I'm going to give Rodri a rest player. I'm not having that. And of course, this is assuming no big injuries, so let's have that caveat. Let's have that caveat. Shut up, Liam. Wirtz might play left wing for Liverpool, would be a big mistake. That I don't think so, surely not. Thank you so much, Aju, for the super chat. I'm scared of Chelsea. Our young talents like Bob, O'Reilly, and so on didn't get minutes. Chelsea will come. They're making a mini City there with Joe Shields. Here's a fortune for you as well, Aju. Great thoughts come from the heart. Oh, isn't that nice? There is a risk that we lose. There's no way we're losing Bob. Bob is not happening. No shots. Bob is good enough to start for City. Bob will start for City. He'll play enough minutes for City. He'll be fine. O'Reilly, if he is happy being a squad player, and I think that's all O'Reilly will ever be, by the way. If O'Reilly becomes a... if O'Reilly's happy with being a squad player, then I don't see why he would leave. If he wants to be a starter, he probably does have to leave. We'll see, though. He's not like Prime Walker at all, no, but he's 22 years old, and he's very good, and he's only going to get better, and he's also homegrown, so that's the key there. He is very lovely, though. He's very lovely. A player who isn't a DM isn't as good at defending as a DM. Sell him, yeah, exactly, Musty. It's weird, isn't it? That's crazy money. Yeah, gamble responsibly, guys. Yeah, hashtag gamble responsibly with my 10p. If anyone wants to take that bet here, actually no, because if enough people take it, then that's actually relevant. No, I'm only doing. This is just me and Spartacus, yeah, me and Spartacus. Wait, is this behind us really? First percentile. Wait, first percentile. Wait, that's the opposite. I was thinking in my head. I was thinking first top 1%. Right? Yeah. So, yeah, he doesn't engage in a lot of He doesn't engage in a lot of defensive actions, but he doesn't have to because Fofana does that for him. Indeed, B. I do agree with that. City agreed deal to sign Marcus Bettinelli as the new third goalkeeper. Cool. Yeah, we need a Carson replacement. That makes sense. Is he homegrown? Like, will he be doing that? I'm assuming. Yeah, I thought so, Iron Man. I read it first as like top 1%. Because in my videos, I don't say 95th percentile. I say top 5%. Just because I feel like it's an easier thing for viewers to understand. If I start talking about fucking percentiles, they'll be like, what? Whereas if you say top 5%, everyone understands that. Yes, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so it's just like for like. Doesn't really help. Doesn't hinder. That's fine. Yeah, that's 50 quid too much. That's 50 quid too much. I'm not doing it with everyone. Just me and Spartacus. We cannot replace him. Yeah. So that's just a net nothing, isn't it? That's just a net neutral in it. So nothing has a. I think. We don't have Fofana. We have post ACL Rodri, who was a cone in defence. Sorry, can I just confirm something? Are you saying that Rodri, the best defensive midfielder in the world, Ballon d'Or winner Rodri, was a cone in defence? Can I just confirm that is what you're saying? Is that a statement that's actually happening right here? I just want to make sure I'm not like going insane. Are we suggesting that the best defensive midfielder in the world was not good at defending? Is that what's is this a joke? Or am I being serious? Are we being serious right now? Yeah, is this fishing or is it like a lie? Let me know. Because if you're being serious, then that I'm sorry requires the greatest punishment that I can possibly deliver. Fraud! I don't know if it's true or I don't know if you're being serious or not. If you are, hey, I'd like to know. Let me know, YK. Let me know if you're being serious or not. Because that's Hall of Shame worthy. I won't lie to you. That's Hall of Shame worthy. Oh, I love doing my fraud siren. It's so I haven't done that in a while. If you remember, let's get your fraud emotes in the chat, please. Foden, Shirky, Holland can't be in the same team. They will not press the ball. Aju, do you understand how good Foden is at pressing off ball? Like, he's always topping the off ball stats. Are you okay, sir? Are you okay, my child, my son? There we go. Excellent work. Well done, Wyke. I don't know if it was rage bait or not, but either way, it's Hall of Shame worthy. You're in the Hall of Shame, so let's get a round of applause there for YK. Big up to you. Big up to you. Oh, you see, guys, he was being serious. Right, well done, YK. You've entered the Hall of Shame. Big up to you. Big up to you, mate. He's apparently a cone in defense, guys. He's apparently a cone in defense. The best defensive midfielder in the world cannot defend, as it turns out. Crazy. Crazy. Yep, nice. That's Hall of Shame worthy. And to confirm, you are a fraud. You've made the list. Well done, I suppose. But, yeah, you are a fraud, I'm afraid. And you're going to be in that Hall of Shame for the rest of your life. So that's a claim to fame, I suppose. But now I will know. I will always associate you with you as being a Hall of Shame entrant. It's a shame. Fraud siren. No, that's the siren from what's it? The Purge. Purge, isn't it? I was thinking of doing the one from Alien, but I prefer the one from The Purge. Anyway, yeah, absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy and insane. Wait, why do we have a double quote? Okay, I'll need to revisit the quotes then. We'll need to revisit that and see what's going on. I'll sort that out. Oh, anyway, guys. What else do we want to talk about? I'll be here for like another 25 minutes or so. I want to make these around 90 minutes. Now, YK, you've entered the Hall of Shame. Hold the L. Move on with your life, because we're not going. Once you've entered the Hall of Shame, that's it. That's the end of dialogue. Like you've done. You've done. It looked like numbers 5 and 6 were the same one. 10 out of 10 window, says Amin. Am I a knob? You're damn right I am. How do you think the Couple Cup will impact our upcoming season in terms of rest? That's a great question. When does the Club World Cup actually end? Like officially. Let's say we get to the final. When's it end? When's it end, guys? Do we know that? Do we know that? Club World Cup fixtures. After the final, Jack, I hate you so much. I want you to know that. When is the final? Like, what date is it penciled in for? Do we know? Oh, here we go. 13th of July. When's the fucking season start? Premier League 25-26 start date. 16th of August 2025. So there's still a month to be. And okay, to be fair, there's a bit more time than I thought in respect of like being off work or whatever. Yes, because that is definitely what you said, Pet. You definitely said that in your first comment. Well done. Don't try to make yourself a double member, matey. No one is saying that Rodri is superior to Rice at covering space in transition and tackling and intercepting, etc. But that is not what you said, is it? You said he was a cone. You said he was a cone in defence. The best defensive midfielder in the world is apparently a cone in defence. Understood. Got it. Yeah, fairs, man. Well done. Yeah, ends in July. Yeah, so the final is on the 13th of July. And hey, we might not even make it. What team? I've not even looked at what fucking teams are in there. I know City are in it, obviously. Who else is in it? Bayern. Okay, I'm looking at teams who are realistically going to win. Yeah, pre-season's more chill though, isn't it? It's more chill though, isn't it? Mate, Liam Byrne is winding you up. Are you okay? He's winding you up. He's a massive troll. That's Liam Byrne. He comes onto the streams at half-time. If you think he's in your corner, you are wrong, my pet. My child, my son. Anyway, yeah, so there's... I mean, to be fair, Al Ali, don't they have, like, the record for the most... Don't they have the record for the most trophies or some bullshit? So they could be dangerous. So fair play to them. Now, realistically, there's Bayern. Oh, PSG Atletico's a group game. Wait, who's in our group? Look at me actually getting interested in the situation. Who is in our group? Oh, bloody Juventus. Okay, well, we should beat them. I mean, they beat us this season. But we've got Al Ain, Juventus, who I think we'll beat, and Why Dad. Why not Why Mum? Crazy. So yeah, real competition. You're looking at Bayern, PSG, I guess technically Chelsea, Inter, and Real Madrid. So there's probably 4 or 5 teams who can really win it, aren't there? Because let's be honest, Juventus aren't winning it. Real Madrid, City, Inter, PSG, maybe Chelsea or Atletico. I'm not throwing Dortmund in there. Sorry, Jack. So you probably won't meet... I don't exactly know how the tree system would work, but you probably wouldn't meet someone of true quality until like maybe the quarters in that case, when there's 8 teams left. So I'd expect us to get at least to the quarters, but it might be that, you know, we have a quarter final on the 5th of July and then we get knocked out. So that's an extra week or 2 off. So yeah, the Premier League starts on the 16th. Of course, there's pre-season, but we know that's only really sort of like half-assed sticking around. You get me? They've just signed Bellingham. It's a good point, to be fair. Tactical analysis when later this week we're going to have Reinders out. If I have time, because again, guys, these videos take a lot of time and effort to make. I can't promise you I'll have 2 analysis videos out by the end of this week, but we will have Reinders out before the Club World Cup starts, and hopefully Shirky, but I'm not promising that. Maybe Shirky at the end of this week as well. At least Reinders this week. Maybe Shirky, but certainly Shirky by the end of, you know, fucking Wednesday of next week, and then Night Nori by the end of next week, certainly. So all 3 videos will be out by the end of next week. Hopefully that will be a lovely time had by all. Oh, the haste video, I keep forgetting to do that. Hey, if the fucking City, if this knobhead football club hadn't signed 3 really interesting players, I wouldn't have had to deviate my time. Hey, I can make those videos right now, mate, but they'd be shit. They'd be shit. I want to make them good quality. We'll have a look at Hayes. I mean, Hayes might just end up going on loan. I have him in the same category as Echeverry. I'm not really too interested on making a video on him. I will make it, obviously. But the January window was a lot heavier than I thought it was going to be. That nearly killed me. That burnt me out like mad. So there we go. Okay, right. Well, this is objectively incorrect, Adu. Thank you for your super chats earlier, but I'm not being funny. You are wrong here. How are you judging defensive output, first of all? If you dare tell me you're basing defensive output on tackles and interceptions, I'm gonna ban you. I'm gonna ban you from this channel if you dare tell me that is what you're basing it off. If you're basing it off tackles and interceptions and dual win rate, then you're banned. So choose your next words carefully. Yeah? If you're judging a striker in Haaland or a player like Foden on those fucking metrics, then that's the end of it. That's the end of our relationship, I'm afraid to say. Liam, let me have fun. Don't worry about it. Craig says the club sees Hayes as a future captain. It's far too early. It's far too early to say that. He might not even be able to be good enough at... he might not be able to be good enough to even play for City. Never mind that. Do a documentary. Okay, mate, you need to chill out. You need to chill out. What is going on? What is happening here? I hate you so much, Liam. I hate... Look at him. He's a shit stirrer. He's a shit stirrer, this guy. Liam Byrne 7 specifically. Nitin says, your choice for winger, project player or marquee signing like Rodrigo. Neither. Can I have a third option of neither of them, please? Thank you very much. Oh. So just running around means off-ball work. If he's pressing from the front, that's all that matters. Is pressures and pressing. That's all that matters. So yes. Not running around, but pressing and pressing intently and pressing intelligently. That means that you are a good player off ball. You're a good player at leading the press. He's always topping the numbers in that respect. Why not, Nitin? Why isn't there an option of neither? This is my stream. Why can't there be? I can do what I want. My option is neither. Yes, right. You're banned then, Spartacus. You're bloody banned. Oh, yeah, big up. Throwback. Richard. Oh, B! He's stirring some shit. He's stirring some shit. What stats? Pressing does not lead to fucking tackles and interceptions necessarily. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. If you press someone and they make an error by playing it out for a throw-in, that is a successful press. That will not be reflected in interceptions and tackles. Watch the game. Understand the off-ball stats. He's a very good player off-ball. I don't know Haaland's stats, to be fair. I know he's not as intense as I would like him to be. I doubt Marmouche is at the top of the fucking tackles rate, but he's an unbelievable presser. Same with Savio. Unbelievable presser. I don't need to know what his fucking tackling stats are or interception stats are. Because I can see with my eyes how hard he works. What's going on? What the hell, Pinchy? What the hell? Yeah, exactly the stuff. I don't know what's going on. Player could win the ball back when someone loses it. Sometimes stats are not everything. Sometimes people just never watch the play. Yeah, exactly. For something like this, you really need to be looking at... I mean, again, sadly, off-ball, a lot of off-ball data, I don't know why it is. If anyone knows, let me know. For whatever reason, a lot of off-ball data is massively protected and hidden behind massive paywalls. I have no idea why that is the case, but if you want pressing data, you've got to, like, pay StatsBomb tens of thousands of pounds for it. Trust me, I've tried to get it. Annoyingly, FBref used to have, like, pressures. I think they're pressure data. That was really interesting. Sadly, they've now gotten rid of it, which is a shame. So there we go. We are getting Rodrigo because he gets interceptions, tackles, and wins duels. Also gets GA Spartacus. I hate you so much. I hate you so much. I hope you know that. I don't think I am though, Rashid. You're saying that, but we asked someone earlier, are you rage baiting when you said that Rodri is a cone in defence? And this guy said, no, I'm being serious. So he entered the Hall of Shame. So you can't say that I'm being rage baited because these people believe what they say. So it's not, it's not, that's not correct. I'd like it to be correct. But sadly, these people think that. And it's insane. It's insane. Simon, that's just not true. That's lazy analysis. And it's also just wrong. What's Usman Dembele's tackle per 90? Good question. Viana out. Brilliant. No, not Rodri. Rodri, no. Rodri, no. I can find possession adjusted expected assists, but can't find off-ball numbers. That's what I mean. You can't find off-ball data for love nor money. It's really hard. I don't know why it's I don't know it is. I don't know why, but it's really hard to find, and it's really protected. It's just. I don't even know how useful it is. It's interesting more than anything else. We'll be live for another 10 minutes, guys. So get your questions and thoughts in. As I say, I want to make these, every 90 minutes. Yeah, I don't understand what that even means. We've still got, sadly, it's off season. I still can't get rid of some of these cretins. I swear to God, some of these deadbeats. How can we solve our ringer and right back issues in terms of performance and consistency? Sign a right back, first of all, and then we'll go from there. I think we'll see. I think we'll see with Ait Nori coming in, Doku, for example, will massively improve, for example. Get me a right back first of all, and then I'll be interested. Off-ball data actually shows how the pressing structures work. It's massively important to find the spaces and weaknesses in the structure. Ah, right, so it's basically just designed for clubs. That's annoying. I want to know it. I want to know it. I want to see. It's interesting. I like to know. I like data. But yeah, sadly, if you want pressures, you're going to have to go to StatsBomb. And I messaged them, a couple of years ago. I was like, hey, how much for your data? And they were like, mate, no. It's like, okay. They were like, yeah, we only really tailor to clubs and actual companies, not little knobheads like you on YouTube. I was like, oh, okay, sorry. Nah, you've got to be an experiment. There's no way this is. I'm going to assume you're joking now. There's no way. There's no way that some of you guys are being serious. I'm not having it. There's no way that any of you have watched my videos or streams and they're still like this bad at like understanding. There's no way. If that is the case, then I'm doing a terrible job as a creator, because there's no way that you should still be like that. Surely not. Surely not. Oh. Can I ban the word Rodrigo? I want at least one stream where fans are either rage baiting or being seriously dumb, suggesting we should sign. Yeah, it's just boring at this point, isn't it? I don't actually know, Rashid. I don't know. Do I think Edison needs to be replaced? If he wants to leave, then yeah. If he can be convinced to stay and for like another 2 years, then I actually don't think he does need to be replaced. And that randomly says, what's the ideal goalkeeper situation? So my ideal situation would be keep him for another 1 or 2 years. If he would like to stay, and then look to bring in the replacement, whoever that may be. Or maybe you just go for it now. I don't know. Some serious fraud, I know, right? Exactly. I'm not angry, guys, but I am disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed, though. You didn't do the revision. You didn't do the homework. You came here with your knob hanging out, and sadly, you got piss all over the place. Yeah, you've pissed all over my table, and that's where my keyboard is. So now, whenever I do this, all that's coming out is piss from my keyboard. Yeah, I can't believe you guys did that to me. I don't know why you did that to me. Elby wants Rodrigo. Well, Elby's a fraud, though, isn't he? You know what I mean? Like, again, I can't believe I'm having to explain this again. We physically can't fit him in the squad. Physically cannot fit him in first and foremost, right? First and foremost, we physically can't fit him in. Secondly, if he came to play for City, where is he going to fucking play? He doesn't want to play on the right wing. He's less effective on the right wing. If you want him to play on the right wing, get me a right winger. Or play him at 10 then. Well, why am I not just signing a 10 at that point then? Oh, wait, we are. Shirky, right. So he's not going to play at 10 then, is he? We'll play him on the left, right? Well, that's where Marmoush is going to play, because Rodrigo is not a fucking touchline left winger. He's not Doku. He's someone who wants to drift inside and attack the central spaces. Who does that remind you of? Was it weird for you to see the cheeky, not to see him for the contract signing photo? Yeah, I tell you what though, Viana is he's a good-looking guy. I will say that much. He's a good-looking guy. He just sort of like beat him in respect of like the physicalness. Zero to have rage bait, man. Where take to run him? Nah, not good enough with his feet. Yeah, exactly. Make the choice. Make the choice. And the answer is Marmouche, clearly. When Pep leaves in 2 years, who would you like to replace him with? I don't know. I was big on the Inzaghi train. I still am. Enrique's another obvious name. And there's one other obvious name, but who I now can't even think about. Who was it? Nagelsmann. That was the other one. I'd be happy with any 3 of them. You get me? No, it's not opinion. It's an objectively incorrect interpretation of data. Don't try to hide behind the "it's my opinion" bullshit, because it isn't. No, we're not doing this. Can we get Rodrigo so Hasten Savio can have a friend? Yeah, if we can sign him and just like have him, you know, as like a cheerleader. I don't mind signing Rodrigo as a cheerleader, but as like a starting player for City, nah. I think it's a bit of both, to be honest, Levi. It's a bit of both. There's clearly something systemic going on because everyone dropped off. So it's got to be that. But I don't think it's helped that there have been personal issues which I have now been educated on that I'm not going to reveal because it's not my place to reveal it. But there has been a lot going off the pitch as well, so I think that's definitely a thing. But also, yeah, just if we talk, I don't want to speculate, but if we're talking about on-ball stuff, then yeah, definitely that's a thing. Yes, there is a rule, and you know it, Spartacus, and you know it. I don't know. The obsession is created by like blue tick people on Twitter who keep saying, "Yeah, sign him," without really, because he's a name and he's a shiny toy. That's the only conclusion I can think of. That's all it is. Tonight at 7 p.m. Red Dead Redemption 2. Be there or be hated by me. Easy. Amorim, shut up. Do you guys remember when we brought in Viana and everyone was like, right, we're going to get Amorim now. We're going to get Amorim. We're going to get all these Portuguese players. We'll be live for another 5 minutes, guys, by the way. So get your final thoughts in if you can. I actually don't know, Eden, and this is why I'm upset, because right now it has to be someone like Aina, because we need a homegrown right back as things stand. So it's hard to even think about any other right back options, because right now physically we can't fit any other players in the squad. It's good at cheering up the squad, 350k a week cheerleader. Yeah, I wouldn't mind bringing him in for that, but you know. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. He's had one subpar season, and now massive question marks of, is he the same player? Guys, he's had an off year. A subpar year for the first time in his career. Historically, we don't tend to write off players for a subpar year. It doesn't normally happen, to be fair. It doesn't usually happen. I didn't write off Aguero after 12-13, because he had a bad year. That would have been a very weird thing to do. I would have looked at precedents and gone, well, the past however many years, he's actually been playing very well. So that's probably the player he is, not this outlier. Weird. Spanish coach, could it be Enrique? Could it be? Yeah, we don't need him, exactly. Exactly, Herbal. Absolutely. Spence, not that interesting, Spence, I won't lie. Big up Borough, though. Big up the Borough connection. Yes. Let's propagate this Rodrigo hates. No, I don't hate him. He is a good player. He is a good player. If you want my Man City lineup, you can, Eugene, go watch my, I think we did a video, New System, New Players, I called it. It was the stream before this one. I'd recommend going to give that a watch if you want my thoughts on that. We're not publicly known for following rules. It will end just being one more charge. What will they do? Relegate us? Spartacus, mate. You are a fraudster. You know that. But you already knew that. So, you know. Exactly, Sam. Exactly. Again, it's shiny new toy syndrome. People already want to get rid of Savio. And what we doing? What's going on? It's bizarre. Really weird. I get it. People are babies nowadays, and it's the TikTok generation. It's all about instant gratification, and I need the next thing now. I want to get rid of all. I want to get rid of all the players now and have a new squad every single year, and I want a new manager every single year. Like, I get it. You have the attention span of a fucking duck. We understand that. But don't burden me with that shit, because some of us don't think like that. And that's a very good point as well, Mohammed. People saying, well, we want a new... If people saying, right, we want someone to play at right wing, get me a right winger then. Why am I getting a player who wants to play on the left and wants to drift inside? You get me? We didn't bring in Marmouche to stick him at right wing, even though we have actually done that a couple of times. And that's not worked, has it? Because he's not played well in those games, because he's not good off coming off the right. He's better coming off the left. Future stud. He's a current stud, this guy. Wait, what's Hamza said? Hello, Nick. How you doing? Yes, signings are fun, of course, but I definitely think that some people live for the transfer window, and they see that as like the season rather than like the season. And even in the season, they're talking about signings and can't wait to get to the transfer window. It's like, right, we have a season right now, so let's look at the players we have, yeah? Which is stupid, Doku, isn't it? Because there were so many games when he won us the title that City was stinky in, and he was able to win the game for us on his own. So it's just bizarre, isn't it? Yeah, that'd be lovely, to be fair. Razard, you are such a wind-up merchant. Now, this does make sense. Rodrigo to Arsenal makes perfect sense, because they need someone better on that left side. They need... someone who can also help alleviate Saka's burden and can play on the right. But they also need a new left winger, because Martinelli's not good enough, I don't think, to win you the title. I don't think that he starts 30 plus games and wins you the title, unless the rest of the players around you are obscenely good. Or he has like a purple patch season, like, you know, the 22-23 year. But as a player, I don't think he's good enough to win. I think Rodrigo is a player who is good enough. So Arsenal should be doing all they can. And if Arsenal don't go for Rodrigo, because again, I've heard things that Rodrigo apparently wants to leave Real Madrid and is desperate to leave and wants to play in his actual position. If Arsenal don't go all in for him, then they are stupid. They are stupid and they are losers. Why wouldn't you do that? Is there a better option out potentially on the market? I don't know if there is. That would be the best player to go for. They should have gone for Marmouche, let's be real. What software do I use? I just use OBS Mac. That's what I'm using right now. Every game it says Savio shit and we need to loan him. You say selling by start calming out. You switch to loan. The issue with Hamza is that he's not very good at... no disrespect to Hamza, of course. He's a lovely person, I'm sure. But he's not very good at analysing football. That's not an insult, that's just the fact. He's not very good at that. So I'm... Again, to not put too fine a point on it, I wouldn't really be giving his Savio take much credence, because Savio was good for us last year, to be honest with you. Right, guys, I'm going to end the stream there. Live for 90 minutes. That's what I want to do. Don't want these to get... Because I got criticised for these streams being too long, so I'm trying to do a 90-minute cut-off points rather than doing 2 hours plus, because some people complain in the comments saying the streams are too long. So, trying to make every Touchline talk around 90 minutes. There will be an Ask Nobbins later in the week. As I say, normally they're on Monday, but I want the next upload to be the Reinders analysis. Guys, if you like my content, if you like me as a human being, and we want to support your boy, you want even more knob in your life, click this link. Go over to the Twitch. My username on Twitch is LNobbins. Yes? Tonight, we're going to go live on Twitch every single Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evening, around 7 p.m, 7 to 8 p.m-ish, around that time start. We're doing Red Dead Redemption 2 currently. Lots of fun. It's a more... We can still talk about football if you want, but it is a more chilled out vibe over there. and we just like, you know, chat shit and whatever. Of course, as I say, there is still some brief football chat, but it's mainly a more casual environment where I play a game and make a fool of myself and kill people that don't even need to be killed, or I kill people in the game and that ends the game. So click that link. As I say, it's on Twitch. Go follow. And I expect to see you tonight at 7 p.m. Don't watch England Senegal. That's going to be a shit game, guys. That means nothing. You're not going to learn anything from that game. But you could learn how shit I am at video games if you come over to the Twitch tonight. And that's LNobbins on Twitch every single Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evening. And also match days when City play. Harris, big up to you. Didn't know you streamed there. We will be there. Love that from you, Harris. Everyone, go be like Harris. Go be like Harris. Come over to the Twitch, click a follow, and I'll see you there. Thank you guys so much for joining. Again, thank you for making this stream work. As I say, I didn't really have much to talk about, but you guys made it an entertaining stream for me, so thank you guys. We even got a new entry into the Hall of Shame. So big up to whoever that was. Was it Yash or whoever that was that went into that? Big up to you. I can't recall his name, apologies. There we go, you see. Who is Yasuke? Has just followed the Twitch. You are a real one. You're an MVP. Thank you guys so much for watching. As I say, I'll be back tonight on the Twitch. Expect either tomorrow, maybe more likely the day after, the Tijani Reinders analysis. And we'll see if we can squeeze in Shirky towards the end of the week as well. But at least one of them will be released this week, so stay tuned for that and an Nobbins. Thank you guys very much. I'm clicking my end button, so I go now. Shout out to all of you beautiful people. Big up to Aju for the super chats. Thank you guys so much for your support as always. I'll catch you later.